What's up, guys? So I've been trying to put together something like this that would be a really good way to help explain how all of the diets work, following with the principles where everything is just math, how to execute what it is, and a really simple and easy way for you to understand all of the protocols that we're doing, all of the diets that you have ever done, how they work, why they work, and then how you can be infinitely flexible with how you want to eat and still be successful. So you don't feel too trapped. It's not overwhelming, just simple, easy execution and tactics. So I just saw recently a cool presentation by Alex Hormozy, and a lot of the visuals that I created here, I stole directly from him because both of us seem to have our brains work that way where we like to draw things out like that. So I stole exactly the same things he drew for a lot of it, but the way he explained it was in a way I haven't done before or heard before, but it was an excellent way to explain how all of this stuff works. And I'm going to take what he did, what he went over, and the way that he explained it, relate it back to what we're doing, and I think it would be excellent for everybody. I mean, Alex is an incredibly intelligent individual. We already, do a lot and take a lot from what he says and does. He's one of the founders of Prestige, which is the supplements that we go with. So obviously, I trust him a whole lot. But this was really cool, so I wanted to give it to you guys. So the premise here is that all diets are the same, and they are. All diets at the end of the day are exactly the same. And trying to pretend like they're different, unique, and magical is what screws a lot of us up. So this is how all of the protocols, the nutrition protocols that we put together, actually work. And the same idea applies to all the training protocols because all training programs are the same. I'm going to do that video next. This is how to stay flexible with your diet for the rest of your life so that you can eat comfortably and easily. And this is how you can maintain your weight for the rest of your life. So you can get rid of whatever body fat you want and then comfortably maintain wherever you're at forever without having to think and do too much. So here's a really cool visual, right? And this is just a little bit of a chart so you can find out where you are on that chart. And then it'll also help you figure out what direction you need to move to get to where you want to be. So here's a graph for your current body type. If you have less muscle mass, you're over here on this side. If you have more muscle mass here, higher body fat percentage, you go up. Lower body fat, you go down. You'd slide to find where you were. So if you had very low muscle mass and a very high body fat percentage, women have less muscle than men naturally. So this would be somebody that's very obese. A little bit more muscle mass might be a man, somewhere in this range. That skinny fat look that we have had before that everybody likes to talk about, that is somebody that has more body fat than they want and not enough muscle mass. And then somebody who has very high muscle mass and very low body fat would be like a bodybuilder. A fit person's got a really good amount of muscle mass, but an average amount of body fat. They're right there on the center line. Somebody that has a lot of body fat, but it has a ton of muscle mass. We call those big dudes. Somebody that's real big, jacked. They have a ton of muscle mass, but they're not quite as shredded as a bodybuilder. Dudes that are lean and shredded, they have very low body fat percentage, but that's that average muscle mass build. Somebody that's lean, somebody that's skinny, all skin and bones would be down here. That tone look that everybody's looking for, it's a lower body fat percentage and a high amount of muscle mass. So when somebody comes in and they're like, I just want to get toned, this is where they are. So if they are somebody who is skinny or skinny fat, somewhere in this range, and they want to get to tone, you could basically draw a straight line. Let's see if I can even draw a line real quick. Right from where you are, somewhere in skinny fat, to where you want to be for tone. And that would be the line that you would follow for whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So where do you want to be? Once you know where you are, decide where you want to be. And then using this, it would tell you what you need to do to get to where you want to be. So using that same graph as above, if you need to move up on the graph, you'd want to increase your calories. If you move down on the graph, you'd be decreasing your calories. If you want to move to the left, you need to decrease your volume of weight training. And if you want to move to the right, you need to increase your volume of weight training. So if we had that line from skinny fat over here, and we want to move towards tone, we're moving down and to the right. So down, we would need to decrease our total calories. And to the right, we would need to increase our training volume. If we're skinny or skin and bones, and we want to get to fit or big, if you want to be one of those big stocky dudes in the gym, you would have to move up and to the right. So for this person, they would need to move up, which would be increasing their calories. To the right would be increasing their volume. Somebody that's big, trying to get shredded, would need to move down and to the left. So this person would probably want to decrease the total volume of work that they're doing and decrease their total volume of calories, moving down and to the left. And that's how it works. It's as simple as that. Where you are to exactly where you want to be. And this is how and why all diets are the same. All diets are exactly the same, even when they're different, because this is exactly how it works. So right now you eat proteins, carbs, and fats. If you were to do the keto diet, all that's happening is you're removing one food group, cutting down those carbs. And all you're doing is decreasing the total calories that you're eating. You're creating a caloric deficit, and now you're losing weight. All diets that have you lose weight, they're just decreasing the calories so you cut back. So this would be an example of keto, low-fat diet. You have proteins, carbs, and fats. You cut out a food group. Now you're eating fewer calories. Portion control. You have protein, carbs, and fats, but now you are eating fewer of them, controlling your portions. Portion control, which is the same as tracking macros. You're controlling the total volume of food. If you're doing intermittent fasting, you usually eat 3 meals a day or whatever. Now you just reduce the amount that you're eating. You're doing it in a time-restricted window, so you cut a whole meal out. All the diets are doing the exact same thing. They're just decreasing the total calories that you're eating. That's it. All diets are the same. So the paleo diet, the vegan diet, vegetarian diet, the zone, Whole30, the anti-inflammatory diet, Atkins raw food diet, gluten-free diet, they're all doing the exact same thing. They're controlling your portions by decreasing your calories. And if you're losing weight, they've put you in a caloric deficit. There's different unique tactics and rules to do so, but ultimately that's what it's doing. It's helping you control your portions. And the things that they do outside of that that lead to the positive health changes that make us feel good and that would make it be sustainable, it's very simple. And it's just this. Decrease the amount of bad foods that you're eating. Decrease the density of the food that you're eating. Increase the amount of good foods that you're eating. Increase the total vegetables. Increase the total proteins. Decrease the bad fats and increase the good fats. That's all these different things are doing. And when you look at the data from every single one of them, there is no outlier that exists outside of this diet is effective in improving your health because it puts you in a caloric deficit, it increases your total protein, and it increases your vegetables. There is not a big difference, or at least a significant enough difference for it to matter between the vegetarian diet or the vegan diet and something else when you just account for the increases in vegetables that you're consuming. It would be basically the same thing if instead of cutting out animal fats and meats, you simply increased the volume of vegetables to be the same amount of vegetables that you're now eating as a vegetarian or a vegan. That stands out all the time. Most of every single diet can be accounted for calorie control, total volume of protein, and total volume of vegetables. And we're not going to get any more sciencey beyond that. There are different health benefits to different things for different reasons, but for the most part, this is going to be exactly how it is all the way across the board, and you don't need to subscribe to any one of these to really lose weight and take control. You can just do a little bit of it as long as you follow the general rules that they all follow and that we're about to go over right now. So that's how all diets work, and that's why they work. And this is why all diets would fail. This is how it's supposed to work. Let's say keto is the example. You have your protein, carbs, and fats. You cut out the carbs. You're eating less food. Now you're in a calorie deficit. This is what happens when it fails. You cut out the carbs, but the portions of the other one increase, and now you're eating really fatty foods. You're putting bacon wrapped burgers with cheese on it and talking about how you're taking control of your health now because you're keto, but that's not really, the right decision. That's why it's not working for you. Same thing when people do vegan, vegetarian, ketogenic diet, uh, paleo diet. This is why it's messing up. It's because even though you removed a food group or you changed the rules, you're still consuming too many calories or an excess of calories, which is causing you to gain weight, or too many calories, which is preventing you from losing. That's it. This is why it's not working, and how it does. There's not really much beyond that you need to worry about or consider. That's everything there is to know about the diet. Now, to change the body type that you have to the one that you want, 99% of people only need to worry about three things. Number one is calories. How many total calories are you eating on average? So the average amount in a day. Not exactly how much you're eating per day, but at the end of a week or 2 weeks, what was the daily average? Number two is protein. How much protein do you need to consume per day in total grams? And number three is volume. What is the total volume of strength training that you need to do weekly or bi-weekly is how you would measure that. Outside of it, 99% of people don't really need to worry about anything else. Cardio, doing cardio at all, don't worry about it. How much cardio do you need to do? None, a ton, don't worry about it. Don't even account for it, don't do it, don't consider it, don't measure it. Circuits, metcons like CrossFit, boot camps, HIIT training. How much of that do you need to do to lose weight, maintain your weight? Who cares? Doesn't matter. Don't worry about it, don't consider it, makes no difference. The strict rules that go along with diets and cheat meals. Who cares? Don't worry about it. Keto, whether or not you're in ketosis, who cares? Doesn't matter. How many carbs are you consuming per day? Doesn't really matter. Just focus on 1, 2, and 3 and ignore everything else, and you'll be totally fine. So we're going to do that right now. Number one, calories. Here's how you're going to figure out how many calories per day you need in the most simple format possible. Now, this is a really convenient graph and graphic, and I just recreated it. This is Alex's, all the stuff so far. Stole it straight up from him. Here's the simple formula, and if you use this formula and apply it to every single one of the nutrition protocols that we have that you guys have been given, you'll see how closely it fits to exactly this. So you take your body weight, and you do it times your goal. And then this would be what your goal is. So maintenance, the high end of the maintenance range is usually 15. The low end is 13. Where we're doing a very effective job of fat loss, somewhere between 12 and 10. If you want to do extreme weight loss and lose it faster, 9, 8, 7. If you're trying to build muscle mass, you would need to be somewhere in the 18 to 16 range. And if you're really trying to gain weight fast, it would be the 19 to 21. And then this shows you what number your goal is, and that's how you figure out your calories, and then the rate of change that you would see. So the further away you get from the center of maintenance, the more you're going to gain in weight. And then, of course, there will be a point of diminishing return. When further you move to the left, the faster your rate of weight loss will be. And, of course, there will be a point of diminished return. So this is going to show you. So what's your goal? I want to cut some fat. So I'm going to drop down here. And we don't know exactly what the maintenance is if we haven't tested it for a while, so it's no big deal. So I'm going to use 175-pound person as an example. So we'll say 175 times 15 is the top end of maintenance. That would be 2,625 calories. If we do 175 times 13, the low end of the maintenance, that's going to be 2,275, I believe. So that is a 175-pound person as the example. That's the calorie range that they're going to be eating in. Now, let's say that person wants to lose weight. So they're going to do their 175 times 12, and that's going to put them at 2,100. And then if they do it on the low end, 175 times 10, and that's going to put them at 1,750. And that would be their calorie target for the day, each day, the average number of calories that they would want to consume each day. Now, what you would do here is just start at one place and then go up or down from there, depending on the rate of change. So hit the dead center of your maintenance, somewhere between here. It doesn't matter really. Because we're going off of our goal. So I'm going to start at 12, and then I'm going to do that for a few weeks and then make a change. Key here is don't be in a hurry. This is a system that's going to work for you for the rest of your life. If you're in too big of a hurry, too big of a rush, what's going to happen is you're probably going to crash and burn somehow. This isn't a short-term, restrictive, very hard, requires all-in, 100% focus kind of thing. It's super flexible, and it's something that once you understand the system, you can adjust and easily maintain it for the rest of your life. So don't be in a hurry. You want to lose weight at the highest possible calories that you can lose weight and the lowest amount of exercise. Common mistake people make is they do the opposite. They try to increase their exercise a ton, cut their calories as much as they possibly can, then they end up failing. But you're not really going to increase the rate of change that you're going to get drastic enough for you to try to accelerate the process. Find out where you are, cut calories a little bit, start making progress, and let that go for as long as is needed. So we'll start at 12. If I'm eating 2,100 calories a day for a few weeks and I'm not losing weight, then I'll just recalculate, do it by 11, see where I'm at. If that's not working, go to 10, continue from there. It's as simple as that. Next, we'll figure out protein. So you're going to do your body weight times 1 gram of protein, and that'll be how many grams of protein you need to eat per day. So 175-pound person times 1 gram of protein equals 175 grams of protein per day. Now, this was something really cool that I'm stealing from Alex that I'd never heard or thought of before, but then I wrote it all out, did the math, and he's exactly right. It's crazy. How much is 100 grams of protein? Turns out that 1 pound of lean meat is almost always about 100 grams of protein, which is 16 ounces. So you can use that formula and figure out how many pounds of meat you need to eat per day. Now, Alex is about 200 pounds, and he said he just eats 2 pounds of meat per day, of lean meat every day. And that could be whatever kind of lean meat that you want. It doesn't have to be exactly 2 full pounds of chicken per day. There's a bunch of different lean meats that you can eat. You can mix and match. You just focus on that total volume. So if I'm 175 pounds, I need to get 175 grams. That would be 1.75 pounds or 28 ounces of lean meat. And I could just measure out lean meats each day and try to get to 28 total ounces per day. And then I know if I do that, I'm right around that target of 175 grams. And lean meats would be things like chicken, turkey, shrimp, tilapia, there's flank steak, there's top round, top sirloin. There is eggs, which I know isn't meat, but egg whites would be lean. And the formula would be 1 egg white equals 1 ounce meat. So if I do 1 whole egg and 6 egg whites and count that as about 6-7 ounces of lean meat, that would be pretty lean. I could do all egg whites. If I'm doing all eggs, obviously it wouldn't be that lean anymore because the egg yolk's in there and that's where the fat's coming from. But that would be a very simple formula for you to follow. Just focus on eating lean proteins, but particularly lean meat. You can measure that out each day. And then how many calories is that? This was pretty cool also that I had never heard. Take your lean meat and it's roughly 5 calories per gram of protein in lean meat. So if I'm eating 100 grams of protein through lean meat, I would calculate it as 500 calories. Reason is, in all the lean meats, there's going to be a little bit of fat. So if you account for the little bit of fat that's in there, you just assume that that would be the total calorie total that you're going to consume. So count each one as 5 calories, 175 pounds or 175 grams of protein through lean meat times 5 going to be what? 875, I think. 875 calories through 175 grams of lean meat, right? So now I'll put this together and do the full math. We figured out what our calorie target was going to be. So we're 175 pounds. We did it by 12. So we're just slightly in the fat loss range. That was 2,100 calories per day. We figured out our target protein, which was 175 pounds equals 175 grams per day. Simple. Then calculate the total number of calories from your lean protein sources. 175 grams, we said, equaled 875, I believe, calories. Then take your calories from lean protein and subtract them from your total calories. So we have 2,100 total calories per day, which was our calorie target, minus 875 calories. And that gives us our total calories remaining, which was 1,225. Then, from the rest of the day, eating within 1,225. And that's it. You're in a caloric deficit. You're going to continue to lose weight. That's all you need to worry about. It doesn't matter what you eat at this point. If you're just eating a whole bunch of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, if you go out and you have a burger and fries, as long as it fits within this calorie total, you're going to be losing weight. Obviously, if you eat a whole bunch of salads and a lot of extra vegetables and you avoid more processed foods, you're going to be healthier. You're going to feel better for a lot of different reasons. However, when it comes to weight loss and weight maintenance, you don't need to worry beyond this. You don't need to punish yourself because you had a candy bar while you're on a diet if the candy bar fits within this formula. Every single time, you're going to be totally fine. The easiest thing to do is repeat the same foods over and over and over again so that you have to think less. You don't have to eat literally the same thing every day, but if you have the same few things that you go back to repeatedly, then you don't really have to worry and think about what to do, when to do, how to do it, how much it is. You don't have to track forever. A little bit of measuring to find out exactly what to do goes a really long way, which I'll give you some examples of the really simple stuff that I've done that I can show you next. The next thing to do would be follow the principles first. The principles that we've gone over, and if you haven't watched what those previous videos were and you're not doing the foundations, principles, protocol, then get them and look at them. But if you follow and execute those principles first, then you can enjoy the rest of your day, and you probably don't even have to measure any calories because you're likely going to stay within the calories if you just execute the principles first. Yes, it's worth measuring to make sure that is certain. So let me start that computer now. You want to make sure that that is absolutely the case, but if you follow the principles first, it's going to make everything a whole hell of a lot easier. And those principles, and here's the pyramid. Here's how it works. We want to get into that average calorie deficit per week, but don't overlook the basics, the base of the pyramid here. Get your 7 hours of sleep, get your 700 steps or 1,100 steps per day. Now remember, this isn't cardio. It's not necessarily exactly getting up and measuring steps. It's measuring NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's very hard to measure. It's a lot easier to measure steps to assume that we're getting it. 700 or 1,100 grams of fruits and vegetables per day. Get your protein, drink a gallon of water. If you do all of these things every day, it's going to be hard to eat outside of your calorie range. Now, you'd want to pay attention if you're executing these to make sure you're in a calorie deficit so that you can lose weight. But once you're not in a calorie deficit and you're not trying to lose weight anymore, it would be very easy to go back to what your maintenance calories would be, because 2,625 for somebody that's 175 pounds, when they're eating 175 grams of protein per day or 28 ounces of lean meat, and they're eating 1,000 grams of fruits and vegetables per day, it's going to be very hard for them to overeat anyways. So they would just follow that. Simple. Test and learn, give yourself some time. So here's what you would do. Set a target, hit it for 3 weeks, and then adjust based on what you see. If you're losing at a rate that you're comfortable with and it's easy, keep it going. If you're not losing or if you're gaining, make the adjustments that you need. But what if you're struggling to hit your calories? What do? Well, are you eating too many calories? Then just increase the volume of the less dense foods. If you're overeating, then add things that are super light and filling. Things that I like to go to is I eat a whole bunch of green beans, apples and pears, and broccoli. And start each meal with a whole bunch of green vegetables, and then eat after that. You're increasing the volume of less dense foods. It's going to make you feel fuller on less, but you can still eat whatever you want. There's no limits. If you're not eating enough calories or if you're not eating enough protein, it's too hard to eat to the volume that you're supposed to be eating at when you're trying to eat healthy, then increase the volume of more dense foods. There have been plenty of people who just simply could not hit their macros that they were supposed to hit in order to build muscle, right? So they're trying to increase their volume of food, increase their volume of protein, increase their volume of training, but they can't fit the food inside of them. They feel sick. They're not making progress. What should they do? Well, if I eat a giant salad and it's just a whole bunch of lettuce, a humongous bowl, which is going to stretch my stomach, is going to be like 10, 20 calories. A big old spoon of peanut butter, which is not going to stretch my stomach near as much, is going to be like 300 something calories or more. Choose more dense foods. I'm not saying just binge on peanut butter, but the point is you can hit your targets if you choose more dense foods if you're not eating enough. If you're not eating enough protein, choose more dense proteins. Hit the protein first to give yourself all the freedom for later, but add more dense foods. If you say, quote, I'm hitting my targets, but I'm not losing any weight, first weigh and measure everything for a few days and make sure that you are actually hitting what your targets are supposed to be for calories and protein. If you're not hitting them accurately, once you start weighing and measuring, then start hitting them accurately and go for 3 weeks. Measure everything. Make sure you're on point. If you're pretty close, stay there for a week, and then adjust if you need to. If you find out that you've been hitting your targets and it's not working, only adjust by 1. If you're going up by 1, you would go from 15 to 16, 16 to 17, 17 to 18 only. If you're cutting down, you would go from 12 to 11 or 11 to 10. You wouldn't cut drastically, you would just redo the formula from above. If you feel like you can't stick to it, maybe you're being too restrictive, right? You try to stick to a diet and then you go out and you binge eat on something that you feel like you're not supposed to, then you break your diet. That's not a real thing because none of those are the real rules. Nothing was off limits. If you want to go eat the thing you want to eat, if you want to eat ice cream, if you want to eat cereal, you want to go out and eat the cookie, eat the damn cookie, who cares? Just figure out how to structure it and fit it into your numbers. Don't punish yourself for breaking and cheating on a diet because that's not a real thing. It is actual nonsense when you realize that all diets are the same. So in theory, there could be the cookie diet or the paleo diet. Who cares? They're probably going to work the same for you if you follow the formula. Don't punish yourself for any reason. Just adjust. If you overeat by a ton, remember it's a weekly average, so get right back on track and you'll bring the average back down. Who cares? If you had extra candy at Halloween and you were trying to avoid candy, I bet you it doesn't matter. If you're sticking to the formula for the most part, you're fine. And then just do the boring stuff, even when you don't love it. If you're having trouble sticking to it, accept that sometimes you're going to eat meals that maybe are not that great, but they allow you to eat whatever the hell else you want later, so you might as well stick to it. Remember, and it's one of our principles, hunger and boring food is not an emergency. I eat a ton of boring meals when I'm doing my absolute best and staying super, super lean because it allows me to eat whatever I want later. So it's worth rolling up some lunch meat and eating it by itself if it allows me to eat whatever I want later. Eating a bad meal or a meal that's just not great, like I'm so sick of eating this thing, is really not that terrible. It's really not that bad if it frees you up to eat whatever you want later and have a life of freedom, of staying lean, staying healthy, controlling your weight, looking good, feeling good. Just, just eat the damn meat. It's no big deal in that situation. So I gave some examples here. Let me try to zoom out. It's something I eat repeatedly every day, and it helps me control everything. I do 4 ounces of turkey. It's just regular old lunch meat. 1 of the string cheese I get, paleo string cheese, and a pear, which is about 225 grams when you take out the stem, the core. That little snack or meal is only 284 calories. It's 30 grams of protein, 32 grams of carbs, and only 4 grams of fat. Another thing that I do if I'm hungry and I'm overeating is I'll eat a full can of green beans. I'll warm the green beans up. And I'll eat the whole thing before each meal. Fills me up a ton. A whole can of green beans is only 40 calories, 1 gram of protein, 7 carbs, 0 fat. If I put that together as one big meal, which is surprisingly filling, you'll feel stuffed. It's only 324 calories, 31 grams of protein, 39 carbs, 4 grams of fat. Now, eat that 3 times during the day, and you're probably going to feel full and stuffed. I've done it a number of times, and I felt full and stuffed. I forgot to eat during a big gap in the day when I ate that before I coached the 5 o'clock class in the mid-morning, and then at lunch, I didn't eat again for like 6 hours. I just wasn't hungry, didn't think. If you ate that 3 times throughout the day, it would be 972 calories. That's 93 grams of protein, 117 grams of carbs, and 12 grams of fat. So if we go back and do that formula, and my fat loss calories are 2,100 at 175 pounds, my calories remaining, 2,100 minus the 972 so far, would be 1,128 calories. If, at this point, I decide to drink a protein shake that's 30 grams of protein, 3 carbs, 1 gram of fat, which is, normal statistics. Then I go to Bonefish Grill and I eat an entire thing of Bang Bang shrimp by myself. That Bang Bang shrimp is 790 calories, 30 grams of protein, 30 grams of carbs, and 61 grams of fat. At the end of that, your daily total would be somewhere around, it's not perfectly accurate, somewhere around 1,912 calories, which is still 188 under the fat loss target, 153 grams of protein, 150 carbs, 73 grams of fat. In this situation, I'm still cutting weight. I'm under the fat loss target by 188. And the 2100 was a fat loss target. So if I ate a 200 extra calories, I would still be losing weight. It's not like it would ruin my day and put me at maintenance, even though I ate a whole thing of terrible for you Bang Bang shrimp. But it was delicious. It's what I wanted to do that day. Who cares? Because I'm still in the calorie range. And I could do that every day and not worry about it at all. And I would still lose weight. And you could go out to Bonefish with your friends, and they could be getting a salad and telling you about their keto diet or their, or they're going vegan, they're trying to lose all this weight, they're struggling, and they're looking at all this delicious food, and they're eating like a rabbit, and you can just sit there and eat a whole Bang Bang shrimp and tell them about how cool their diet is and watch them struggle over and over again while you're just crushing this gigantic plate of Bang Bang shrimp. And you're going to be the one that's lean, healthy, losing weight, totally in control, having fun and relaxed, watching everybody else around you struggle. It's exactly how it would play out. So at these totals, you're only at 153 grams of protein. You're short on your protein. What are you going to do? I don't know. Doesn't really matter at all. Who cares? You just fit an entire thing of Bang Bang shrimp into your day, and you still ended up under your total calories in the fat loss range and losing weight, losing body fat with an entire meal of Bang Bang shrimp by yourself. You could eat more turkey, like from the example I gave earlier. You could drink a shake or something if you're really worried about it. Otherwise, don't eat a big thing of Bang Bang shrimp tomorrow. Just follow the same principles, keep on the path, get your protein close to your target, and it's going to work. Just repeat that over and over and over again, and you're going to be losing weight constantly, feeling good, feeling healthy. It's as simple as that. Follow that formula of how many calories should you hit per day, how much protein should you hit per day. And again, I'm not going to go into the volume of strength training, but the next video that I'm going to do is all strength training, or all exercise programs are the same. And I'm going to break it down very similar to this. So we're not even worried about that. The two things that you need to do to control your body fat, get it down, have a lot of fun, figure out your calorie total, and figure out your protein total. If you continue to cut your calories down beyond what you think it should be, if you're not hitting your protein target, if you're following arbitrary rules that you think have some sort of purpose, you're going to struggle. It's going to be really frustrating. Just stick to this. Now, for those of you that are in the program and you have a protocol, go look at the protocol and look at how it fits exactly into what we just went over right here. And yeah, that's it. That's how it works. Ask questions.